Good morning, everyone. Yesterday, we have discussed about soil as a resource. Today, we'll be talking about the formation of soil, how the soil is formed. Though yesterday, I have given you a brief description about the formation of soil. Today, we'll be discussing about it in detail. The soil is formed by weathering or disintegration of parent rock by physical, chemical, and biological agents. Living organisms such as lichens, insects, microorganisms make soil ready for the plants to grow. The growth of roots of plants further adds to the weathering of rocks and thus forms soil. So we'll be discussing about this weathering process, physical weathering and biological weathering, right? Now let's see. This is your physical weathering and this is your biological weathering. Now physical weathering, which I had discussed yesterday, right? These rocks, right? They expand in summer, they contract in winters, expanding, contracting, it leads to cracks in rocks. Now, when these cracks are there, in rainy season, water collects in rock cracks. Water freezes in winter and this cracks widens up, right? It widens up. It again, the same process continues and the crack gets deeper. Repeated expansion and contraction causes further cracks till rock splits into pieces, right? So this is how the apparent rock gets splitted and it further gets splitted and finally slowly, soil is formed. Organic weathering. Organic or biological weathering is the disintegration of rocks as a result of the action by living organisms. Trees and other plants can wear away rocks since as they penetrate into the soil and their roots get bigger. They exert pressure on rocks and make the cracks wider and deeper. Now these roots of the plants which grow on the rocks, right? They get a hold, their roots, they get a hold of the rocks and they start widening the gaps. And slowly, the rock gets split into two parts, right? So there are two methods of weathering. One is your physical weathering. Another is your organic weathering, right? Wind, water, rain. The physical one. This is your biological plants. The roots of the plants, they are responsible for creating cracks and widening cracks in the rocks and slowly, the rock gets split into two. Physical weathering, I told you, these rocks, they expand in summer and they contract in winters. This repeated expansion and contraction, it leads to cracks in rocks. Now, when there is a rainy season, the water collects in those cracks. Water freezes in winter and slowly, the crack, it starts widening. With repeated process, the rock gets split into two, right? It splits from the parent rock. And slowly, they get smaller in size with the repeated process of physical weathering. And when these rocks are carried away with the rivers, with the flow of rivers, right? The particles start getting minuter and the soil is formed. Organic weathering or biological weathering, when these plants, small plants which grow on the rock, right? Their roots, they get a hold on the rock. Their roots, they penetrate into the rock. When their roots penetrate into the rock, it creates a crack. And when these roots, they start getting bigger, they exert pressure on rocks and make cracks wider and deeper. And slowly, the rock gets split into two. Now, different types of soils: alluvial soil, black soil, red soil, desert soil, laterite soil, and mountain soil. So there are 6 different types of soils found in India: alluvial soil, black soil, red soil, desert soil, laterite soil, and mountain soil. Now, about alluvial soil, we'll be discussing in detail in our next lecture. Meanwhile, if you have any query, you can contact me on your WhatsApp group. Thank you.